Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of AM and the PM with Amanda and Mark. Amanda, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about all things food.
Food. Yeah, this is a great topic.
Yes. So, I don't know. I feel like Mark and I don't know if we just are, what is that? Very like in, introverted thinkers. Is that
Int- Introverted
what is
thinkers? I
that
don't
the
think that's the right.
no,
Introverted is
very
opposite of extroverted. It means you like
I
stay to
don't
yourself.
know. Basically, I don't know if we just think too much into things
Introspective.
or if I mean, I don't we do, but I think we're very smart people. Anyways, I just think we have a lot of different point of views on food. Um, you know, how food is meant to actually fuel your body, but everyone in America and everywhere is out here eating fries and pizza. And honestly, until not that anything's wrong with that, but until Mark pointed out to me earlier that sometimes he feels shitty when he eats that sort of thing because food is supposed to fuel you. And like I know that, and I even say that. I'm like, you need to eat. Food is energy. Food fuels you. But I feel like I rarely ever actually look at it in that way. And both of us live with our parents, and we would like to have a quote unquote healthier lifestyle or whatever, just eat all around better and cleaner, I guess you can say. But it's just not very easy when we are still living at home. So,
Yeah, it's quite difficult. I don't know what we want to tackle first, but you kind of summed up a lot of things there that I would like to get into deeper. So,
yeah, well, I guess we can just talk about our relationship with food.
yeah, mine's not good. Um,
And that's also funny because I don't know if other people like say they have relationships with food. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people struggle with eating disorders and just different views on food, but like it's weird to me to think like is there some people out there, probably obviously there is, that just eat a bunch of stuff and don't think about it. Not to like interrupt Mark, but for me personally, I have stomach issues, so certain stuff I eat will affect my stomach, and so I'm just kind of always thinking about what I put into my body.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. My whole life so far to this point has been pretty badly associated with food in a sense. I don't look that bad, and I've never had like an eating disorder. I would say like I've never been like anorexic. I've never been super obese, but I was a fat kid. I was eating chicken fingers and fries. I'm sure we've talked about this before. People have heard the story, and it was terrible. And I was just a fat, short kid. I'm still not that tall, so you kind of get the idea. And one day I decided to lift a little bit of weights and decide to eat grilled chicken and broccoli, and that changed. That changed my life. I was 180. I was like 183 in eighth grade, and then I went down to like 150, 155 as I was going through high school, and then it just continued to get like better and better for the most part. But I've never been like I've watched a lot of fitness content. I've never been where I kind of want to be there with as far as like just muscle gains and stuff like that. And I don't go to the gym regularly. I pretty much just play ball hockey, and that hasn't been something that I've built into my schedule. But basically, kind of where we're at right now, sitting around like 175, 180. I don't look bad. I don't look great. I have,
Wait, can we pause?
yeah,
I think it's funny that you just like, I mean, it's not funny, but a lot of people wouldn't just like say their weight like that. Um, I
because
mean,
because they don't want to give away information.
we've talked
I talk
about
about
this.
everything.
Weight is just a number. Um, and I don't care about people knowing my weight, but I just think that's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I use it as a measuring stick. I
Yeah.
think you could definitely be 250 pounds and look really good, or you could be 250 pounds and be fat as fuck.
Yeah.
So, um, that's kind of the way that I think about it. So, and I guess just for also, I'm pretty sure I'm 5'7", maybe 5'8", but very short. So, not very short, but pretty short. So, point of that is just to kind of give an idea of what I'm kind of working with there, and then also kind of where we're at. But the reason that this is, this is a really good topic for today is because I've tried some things in the past. We've even talked about it on a very early episode before we had all the equipment and everything like that. I think we talked about like I did a big fast or something like that. Like I did I don't know how long that was, like 48 hours. I don't remember. It might have been like 36, 48-hour fast or something. And that wasn't, to my recollection, it wasn't that bad. But
36 hour, I think.
Okay. We'll go back and look at the episode.
That was like,
and Amanda was freaking
that
out.
was like our second episode, I think. Like very early on. Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda was freaking out about that, and it didn't end up being a big deal, but I don't know. I think where I'm at now is I'm very plateaued when it comes to food. I'm just really set in my ways when it comes to food and nutrition and sort of exercise, but I don't know. That one's more loosey-goosey. We're trying to stick to nutrition here, meaning that it's hard for me to stick to shit. There's things that I like. I love grilled chicken. I love broccoli. I love rice. I love those types of things that are quote-unquote good. But I actually just sat down with a buddy of mine on FBP this week, and he talked to me about the carnivore diet. And I'd heard about it before, and actually it was something that I wanted to bring up to Amanda because I know that it could really benefit her based on what I've heard it does for people. And just like yesterday, I tried it. So yesterday I had basically eggs, bacon, cheese, steak, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Like I just it's
Didn't you have chicken?
I said chicken, yeah. Chicken.
I don't think.
Oh, did I not say chicken? Okay, chicken, yeah, chicken too. But point is that the carnivore diet, long story short, is just, it's like veganism, but the complete opposite. It's only animals. So you only, you don't eat any plants. You don't eat anything like that. So basically no carbs, use fat to fuel your body. And I felt pretty weird after yesterday. I mean, like, I think I've experienced the digestion weirdness right away. I know that for a lot of people, it takes a few weeks for it to really like fix you, like get back to where you should be. Cause like you'll do that and your body will be like, what the fuck is going on? And you have like diarrhea and crazy shit like that. And then you'll get back to, if you stick with it, you'll get to a good point. And that's where the benefits start to kick in. Some of them being like, help with constipation, help with digestive issues. A lot of autoimmune deficiencies go away, at least from the people that I've heard. Psoriasis, which is something that I've had. So I didn't really think that I was going to do it long term. I think I can do it if planned correctly, but the point that I wanted to try to do is I wanted to bring that to Amanda because I know that she has some issues that could probably be resolved from that. She didn't want to do it at all. But what I learned in just one day, one day and one meal, was that I don't think that I have a really good
2 meals.
4 meals total. Well, yeah. Well, yesterday I had 3 meals, and then today I had a carnivore meal in the morning, and then we went to El Campesino, a Mexican restaurant, right? And I did not do carnivore. Like, I mean, I had a whole Mexican meal. Like, I had the cheese dip, the salsa,
so
the chips.
3 meals total.
4.
What do you mean 4?
I had breakfast, lunch, dinner yesterday, all carnivore.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. So, point that I'm trying to make and point that I'm trying to get to is that I know that my relationship with food is not good because just of the habits that I've formed over the years in my household and just around the people that I've hung out with and just the way that I've been. I eat too fast. I don't chew enough. Really one of the biggest things that I hate is that I like food. Like I like certain foods, and I know that's a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's really for fuel. Like you said, and like we were talking about earlier, it's not about pleasuring your mouth,
It is about pleasuring your mouth.
Well, I mean, that's what it has become.
Yeah. Sometimes when I put broccoli in my mouth, I'm like, ew. And I just can't eat it. I don't normally think
that. I like broccoli, but.
We know. But like sometimes I just can't. But I do think the whole fuel thing will help me. But I need tasty things. I think everyone does. We can't eat something that we don't like the taste of. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that it's not great. I mean, just since my entire childhood, I mean, I was telling Amanda again, we were going over some ideas before we sat down here. Just for me, like I've been working at the restaurant like every weekend a lot of my life. And it's not good when you work at a restaurant because I think it hurts your relationship with food, especially when you have food like around you all the time. You could just pick at it and eat it. And if you're bored or you have some slow time, you're like, oh, I'm going to eat now. And then like, that's just kind of how it works. And then normally you have to eat fast because you're working. It's just kind of the way it is. So
I just want to.
is your nose all right?
I just want to apologize to everyone. I feel like I'm always over here, like sniffling. My nose runs when I'm cold and we record in a shed.
It's not that cold
I'm
out
not very cold, but like
here. This is
my
MJS
nose
Studio.
is just runny, and I feel like you're just gonna hear like.
Probably not good to like continue to do that right into the microphone.
I know that one was supposed to be funny. I don't remember what you were saying, but I feel like you've been talking for a long time. Can I
Yeah.
put some?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, the carnivore diet, I just can't imagine eating just meat. And well, what's interesting is whenever we recorded with Sav and Ben, we had them on AM and the PM, and we recorded with them, and they gave us some insight on their like vegan lifestyle. And I don't think they do completely vegan. I think they like still eat like the chicken's eggs or whatever. But that, like, I was actually, I don't know if I could ever actually do that, but I was very interested in that just because of my love for animals, and like everything they were saying I could relate to. And I'm not gonna lie, like I see some vegan like meals and stuff, just on like social media or whatever, and some of it looks so good. Obviously I have no idea if I could actually do that. But I actually feel like I'd be more willing to try that than the carnivore diet. Because, we go to the meat restaurants. We go to Texas de Brazil. We go to Fogo de Chao. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that one, but there are restaurants here in Pittsburgh. And, like, I enjoy the meats, but I enjoy the salad bar almost, like, more. Maybe not more, but I can't eat a crap ton of meat like that. Like, I just can't. So, yeah, that's my little insight on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I know that that's and I know that about you. I know that we've gone there before and you haven't been able to like eat a lot of that stuff
so
or whatever.
I just don't think I could do that.
Yeah, but
full time.
Full time. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to have those types of problems because I've been fortunate enough to not really have like real digestive issues, as far, like constipation, stuff like that. I don't really have any of that.
Basically, just to let everyone know, like, my issues are, I mean, this may be why. So when I was born, there's a little backstory real quick. I was 2 pounds. My mom had preeclampsia, so there was just like, I don't know, random stuff wrong with me. Obviously, I turned out okay because I'm talking right now today. But my stomach was like really extended or something, my mom always tells me. So growing up, I remember being real young, like potty training and having like not extreme, whatever, anxiety or whatever, or just worrying about like using the bathroom, like obviously pooping. So when I was young, my mom obviously tried many things with me: prune juice, mineral oil, lemon juice, pear juice, like milk and mag, like the works of every, like, we went in different stages of stuff that is supposed to help you go to the bathroom. I mean, a big thing obviously that would help me, I'm not a vegetable eater and I'm not a fruit eater, like, at all. I like salads. I eat vegetables occasionally. So obviously I think that would help with that. And then on top of that, certain foods that I eat give me gas bubbles. It's I would say mostly like fried food, like boneless wings or like chicken tenders, like fried like that. But honestly, sometimes it's hard to predict. Like occasionally I'll just get it out of the blue and be like, what did I eat that was so bad? But mostly I know what type of food will trigger the gas bubbles. So, Mark obviously said that his, what's his name?
My buddy,
Yeah.
Alex Connor.
Alex. Alex Connor,
Yeah.
who was on Fueled by
Yeah,
Progress.
check out the episode.
Said,
Dropped yesterday as of this recording.
I know this is a normal thing, but when guys, you're like, my buddy, like, that's just weird to me. I guess
That's my buddy.
that's a guy thing, but that's, I'm just like, okay, you're a buddy. You just said it really weird.
He's my buddy.
Okay. Yeah, Mark said a lot of the stuff I'm still interested in hearing what he had to say. He went through similar stuff to me, so that's why he suggested that to me, but
I will link that episode, and if I am diligent enough, I want to clip out that piece of the episode, so I will link that in the description if you're interested in hearing more about that.
yeah. But I guess just my relationship with food, I've touched on this on different episodes. I've, been on countless diets to lose weight. Blah, 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 tried to do the no carb thing, tried to just eat healthy.
Have you been on, I have two thoughts there, but you've been on multiple diets? Countless diets?
I mean, I've tried to diet
Because
at least 3 to 4 times to diet. I wouldn't say like, I did try to do keto like one time, I remember, fully.
Well,
maybe not like fully, but
let me clarify one thing too. I'm not actually trying to lose weight in a sense.
I know.
Again, I don't think that is, unless you're trying to make a certain weight for a competition or something, I don't think that's really the way to go. I think more you're trying to be healthy, long term, look better maybe, but the lose weight thing, I don't know, that's just a semantics.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying what I've done, my personal experience.
Right. I think moving forward though, especially as anyone starts to recognize the problems that they have health-wise, if you look for solutions, that's why when I brought this idea to you, this carnivore diet idea, which again, you can see it in the clip, it's the exact same thing. It's those exact same conditions and problems solved by this lifestyle change, this diet, right? And when I bring that to you and I'm like, this looks like a shoe-in to work, and you say flat out no, that's disconcerting to me just because, well, do you want to fix the thing that you are struggling with or not? That's my perspective of it.
Okay, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue. So I was getting to my reason of not wanting to do it. I've been on countless diets or whatever. I think there was one time, I think I did do a no carb thing just to see if like gluten affected me, because this was back when I went to like the gastrologist and they, gave me all kinds of information. So I think I did it to see if gluten affected me. I think it was there was a list of foods that give you like gas bubbles and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, cut these foods out for a little bit and see like which ones affect you. Like, I guess bring it back in and, you know what I mean? Like, see which ones affect you. So I think that's what I was trying to do. I remember feeling good and stuff, but I will say, okay, I guess we'll just do the full thing. So about my issues. So I take Miralax every day.
Why are so many people ashamed to say that?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't take it.
Do you see the awkwardness in my face?
I don't take it, but it's just...
I don't know. I guess it's because you're talking about pooping. I mean, I tell everyone. Right now I'm telling like the whole world. Obviously not the whole world, but I
mean, it sucks, obviously. But if you can...
Okay, let me continue, Mark.
Yeah.
I get what you're getting to.
Go ahead.
So I take as as you heard before, I went through all this stuff when I was younger, and I tried Miralax, and Miralax was the one thing that really worked for me. So I've been taking Miralax every day for like ever, like since I was young, like maybe like 8 or something. I know Mark is like cringing hearing that. Whatever. And I only started taking a fiber supplement um like a couple years ago when I went to the gastrologist and they recommended a fiber supplement. It's just a supplement. You could take one a day, you could take two a day, you could take three a day. It doesn't really matter. I just take one. I just take them when I take my vitamins at night. You know, obviously sometimes I skip it, not a big deal, whatever. And sometimes I skip Miralax and it's not a big deal either. Like I said, if I ate better, like I think I need to eat more fruits and vegetables. I really do think that would help me. And the doctor always says fruits that start with P make you poop. I've always heard that. So maybe I need to eat like peaches and pineapple. I do like those things. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So I've been on different diets, you can say, whatever. Whether it was to feel better, I think at one point it was to feel better about my health. And, but I've just restricted myself a lot in the past with food. I had good intentions, obviously, but obviously it never worked. I kept going back to regular eating habits. So right now, I will say I have not been very successful because I could use this excuse as many times as I want. It's an excuse, but it's also true. I live at home, so I eat what my parents make. Da 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 da. But what the heck was I gonna say? So I eat what my parents make. Oh my god,
You're gonna talk about making food, like making your own food.
Well, yeah, I eat what my parents make. Oh, so basically, that's why I don't have the healthy lifestyle I would like to. But my ultimate goal is to have a healthy lifestyle, or like basically eat cleaner, eat better, like make better choices. Like I said, more fruits and vegetables, which I don't eat fruits at all. So there you go. That's a problem there. Eat all your fruit or eat all your vegetables before you choose to eat the other thing. Like, I don't know, just little silly things that'll just make it better, I guess. So I just have a really hard time doing the carnivore diet, or honestly any diet, um, any type of thing, because I don't want to restrict myself again. It's truly, I remember telling myself it wasn't that bad back then, but it's the worst thing you could do. is
What
not
is?
not allowing yourself to have the food that you want to have, like that you truly like want to eat.
Elaborate.
Like, I guess, like, I'm not trying to sound like a fat kid who loves cake or anything, but it all comes back to happiness. And if I'm not letting myself eat this cookie and then I'm feeling extremely, like, say I'm like, I don't know, on the carnivore diet, like, you can't eat frickin' cookies. Like, say my parents buy these cookies and I really want a cookie and I can't eat it because I'm on a carnivore diet. Like, I'm gonna be, like, that's not good for me mentally. Like, it's really just not okay. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel guilty for stuff that I'm eating. So that's why I think, and Lauren Geraldo is a person that I really look up to, and what she does, I think, is like she says she does this. I'm not sure if it's true. Throughout the week, she tries to eat healthy or whatever, like good, and then on the weekend she lets herself go a little bit. That might be a good idea, but like I said, I live with my parents, so maybe for like Mark and I still don't know if I like restricting yourself all week, but I would rather try, for my like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like for my meals to be like, it doesn't all have to be like healthy, but like just make better choices. And don't deny yourself things if you really want it. Because I just feel like that leads to, it doesn't lead to, sometimes it can lead to binging. Like all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I'm going to let myself do this today. You go crazy that day and then it's over. And then you're just like, I can't get back on that again. Or you give another excuse to yourself as why I don't know. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, so I like your mentality there, and I've heard it before, obviously, from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really disagree with much as far as the concept goes. I think it has a lot of merit, but the execution of that and what you just said there, I heard a bunch of fluff, and I didn't hear like actually how you would put that into practice. Meaning, let me give you an example. I say tomorrow I'm going to go on the carnivore diet for a year. Okay. Well, if you do that and you're actually going to follow it strictly, then there it is. Every single day, you can't eat anything other than animal-based products, right? That's what you do. What you said, well, I'm going to eat whatever I want, whenever I want. Which, again, nothing wrong there. But you're going to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, and you're going to make better choices, but you're not really going to eat healthy every single day. And I'm not saying that I'm doing this. I'm trying to relay what I hear from you, right? And give you a further recommendation. What you're actually describing is the closest thing that I can think of is something called if it fits your macros. And what that means is that this is the biggest problem. And the problem that I think there's a disconnect between you and I when it comes to this, because I have this information and knowledge. I don't implement it that much, but I still understand it. And you just, this was before we even met that I learned this.
You gave me a lesson, but I don't remember.
I did give you a lesson. I remember that.
Remember.
You don't remember. And I don't think your girls have ever given you this lesson, because I don't think they've probably ever talked about this.
Who are my girls?
Lauren, Mick, Maddie.
Mick would not like this conversation.
I'm sure she wouldn't.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mick.
Mick Zazon. I still don't know if that's how you say her name correctly. Go ahead.
There's something called if it fits your macros. I'm not going to go into deep. There's 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. When you add those up, like if you have like, I don't know, like grams of what you eat, I'm going to make up numbers. 300 grams of each of them. That adds up to a certain number of calories. Okay. And let's just easy numbers, 2,000 calories a day. There's a lot more to this. I did teach you one time. It doesn't matter. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if it fits your macros is you say, this is what I want to hit. I want to hit this number of fats, proteins, and carbs. Each of those do different things for you. And then that adds up to a certain number of calories. To get to that number, you don't have to eat a fucking steak. You don't have to eat chicken. You don't have to eat broccoli. You can eat whatever you want as long as it hits those numbers. Now, in order to get protein, you're probably going to have to eat some steak. You might have to eat some chicken. You might have to eat things that are high in protein. But the point is that you could throw some cookies in there as long as you hit the numbers. The reason that I like your thing, it's something that's like very, I don't know what the word. It's a concept that people would gravitate to. I think there's no measure. There's no logic behind it. It's pure emotion, because you're saying, I'm going to eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm just going to make healthier choices. But you're not going to make the healthier choices because there's no way to measure how you're making the healthier choices. I'm guilty of this. I'm not criticizing you. I'm telling you what the problem is.
Well, what would be the alternative then?
Exactly what I just said. You need to get educated. You need to make a measure.
I don't want to measure.
You don't want to measure.
Why should I measure? What are the reasons that I should measure?
Because you're not going to make any progress if you don't measure. You're not going to make progress that you can actually understand unless you measure. Because what's going to happen is you're just going to randomly put things in your mouth, and then you're going to be like, oh, wow, I feel better today and I feel worse tomorrow. And like, it might work for you. You might be able to stay like the same for the rest of your life as long as your habits aren't bad. But you could easily start to eat too many cookies, or you could start to not eat enough protein. And then even all the workout you're doing, you could just still like not get to where you need to be because your nutrition is so out of whack. I'm not saying you need to be a nutritionist. I'm just saying that I think the simple concepts of proteins, fats, carbs, macronutrients, and micronutrients would help a little bit. And I'm not a fucking genius on this by any means. I just know the fundamentals and I try to understand it. I try to implement it a little bit. But there was a time where we talked about where I was literally weighing food and I was writing down, oh, I have this many calories and this something like, and like I was using an app and everything. You don't really need to do that. But I'm just saying that that is how it ultimately all works. And
unless you follow like a meal plan or something, I guess.
yeah, I mean, you could always do that too. But I mean, I think again, let's go back. Let's take it all back. We talked about this before. We talked about all the problems. We talked about the chewing fast. We talked about the eating fast, not taking enough chews or whatever, like all these like little tiny things, right? The bad habits and the bad little things. The root problem, though, I still believe is the actual relationship with food. We don't think of food how we should. And when I say we, I mean millions of fucking people. If you talk to somebody who is actually like trying to get more fit or like trying to like look better and like actually really focusing on that, I have people on Instagram. I've had people on FBP. Like they do that. They make sure that they know exactly what they're getting in because they're using fuel as a currency of fuel. Like they're not using it for pleasure, mouth pleasure. Yeah, some of the shit tastes good. And you can find foods that do taste good to fit your numbers. I'm not telling you to fucking count your macros. I'm just giving you different ideas and different things. You don't have to listen to any of this. This is just my sort of idea on it. And again, I'm not a good person to follow because I don't fucking do these things. I have fallen desperately into this where it's basically been like how we are. It's like we go to Chipotle, we get some pizza, we go to Olive Garden, we go here, we go there. The biggest thing that has helped me is just eating less fucking meals because I know when I sit down at a table, I'm going to destroy the fucking food at the table. We talked about that too. That's another bad thing. I don't take anything home. I have a no box policy, and it's like I'm going to war every time I go out to eat. So that's not good either. Fortunately, it hasn't completely fucking backfired on me to this point.
You should be obese.
I should be obese. But there's a lot of other things, other ancillary things I think that are working in my favor.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I mean. So I like your approach. It's a very attractive one to a lot of people, and it's an easy one to sell.
I get what you're saying. I think now that I have gotten really into working out, and especially like strength training and upper body workouts and stuff like that, it definitely sounds appealing, to do something like what you were saying, for sure. And I definitely, obviously, you and I have talked about countless times about how our lifestyle with food is going to be completely different once we move out. And I am thinking about starting something now myself. But I think the mental health part of it, I know like food is supposed to fuel you and it's supposed to da 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 da, and I know that. And I'm glad that you said that to me today, because when you said that to me today, I feel like it almost clicked in my head, like, wow, Amanda, food is supposed to fuel you, like, and here you are. I mean, obviously I'm trying to be like as strong as I possibly can be, and I really probably need the fuel more than ever. So I really like that approach and that idea, and obviously the truth of that. But I think, when you say food is whatever about our brains or taste and stuff, like, you're absolutely right. But I think mental health and happiness is really important to me. And that's kind of why I look up to the people that I do. But I agree, like, I think sometimes I should come back down and think of that approach as well. So,
So I think that the answer to your question, you are right on both fronts, but the answer is both. Meaning this, it's great to have a cookie and be happy. It's great. But you can't have just cookies and be happy, obviously, right? Because then you're not going to be fucking happy because you're going to be fat as fuck, right?
Oh my God, please.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general. You would not be healthy if you had just cookies, right? So what I'm saying is And I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm not saying that that is something that I assume is going to happen. That's not really like a worry. But what I'm trying to articulate here, perhaps poorly, is that there has to be some sort of mental health goes both ways, right? You could be really, really, really into the gym and really into fitness and really into nutrition and not be happy because you're constantly trying to like you have a weird thing going on there. Like you're addicted to it and it's not healthy. You could also be completely on the opposite side and not give a shit about the gym or nutrition and just be somebody that's lazy and obese, right? And just chilling and doing nothing. And you just feel depressed. So you got to stay more in the middle where it's like, yeah, I can eat whatever I want, but at the same time, there's got to be some sort of measure. I'm all about, like, I love the normalized normal bodies thing.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's like it would be more like. Sorry, I had like a weird burp thing. I feel like it would be more like we keep good food in the house, and then like if you want something, you go out and get it. Almost like I don't know, because we always say about how our parents keep so much junk food in the house. Well, we probably just wouldn't keep that stuff in the house. I'm just saying. I mean, you know what I mean. I was saying it before.
The root cause is the relationship with food. The second cause is access, and that is the biggest problem that we have currently.
Yeah, because when it's there and you want it, it's there and you want it and
Right.
you get it and you eat it.
So it's going to be, so our lifestyle, like you pointed out and we've talked about before, is going to absolutely change when we are no longer tied to other people's rules of their house, in a sense. Not rule, I just mean like, habits of their household, right? Our parents have been buying food for 20, 30 years or whatever the fuck, it's been, and they're just doing whatever the fuck they do, right? They go to the store, they buy stuff. I don't understand that. I can't even fucking fathom spending extra money on random little bullshit garbage. Hold me to that. But I can't fathom it. It's a perfect time to mention that at one point, probably like 2 months ago, I started writing a list of the foods that I wanted in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm that crazy about this type of stuff. But that's the thing, I think, is that is the biggest combative measure. If it's not there, you're probably not going to eat it, and it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. And then, of course, you go out to eat and you get things. And I think, again, the biggest thing for me has been just trying to eat less meals, really, and trying to eat less food because I eat too much food.
Well, you have to say that you are able to eat one big meal a day and be okay.
Correct. And it's actually, I think honestly it's worked for the most part, unless I deviate from that and I get like snacks here and there, or sometimes we get chocolate and different things. A milkshake here and there I'm never ever going to say no to, because fucking Milkshake Factory is bomb. That was the one thing right after this. That was the one thing. Oh,
shit. Why'd you gotta say that?
That was the one thing. That was the one thing that even if I was on the carnivore diet, I was going to make room for that, because
we used to only go.
It's mostly dairy.
We used to only go to the one by my house. And now every time I'm at Mark's house, he's like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh shit. Oh, but I really do want to go." If I'm being honest.
I don't know. I just had a lot of fucking Mexican food. I feel like I'm going to die, and I've just shocked the shit out of myself.
I feel okay.
Because I feel okay because of yesterday's carnivore experience and then today's weirdness. But I think here's the thing, right? The reason that we do this stuff, I want to make one more point, and then I also want to come back to what I was just saying. There's a real thing. This is related to this, but this is more related to like life in general. When you have a topic like this that we're struggling with, people are struggling with, it is so difficult. I have found somebody like me is trying to do 40 million fucking things at once. It is so difficult to implement more than one new thing at a time. What I mean is, you started going to the gym, big change in your life over quarantine.
Well,
right? Not going to the gym, but working out.
I exercise.
Working out consistent.
I actually really think I do want to go to the gym.
When I knew you for the first 3 years of our relationship, you didn't fucking move. Like, you wouldn't move.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
I went to the gym like one time.
A lot of props. Seriously. Mad respect. Mad fit. Right? But you have changed tremendously just over this like past year, right? And you've started to do this. But what I'm saying is that took a lot to get there. It took a fucking pandemic. But it took energy to implement something. You understand? Like the first month, it was probably hard for you. It took a lot of energy just to make something new and slide it into your
I
fucking
would
life.
say it hasn't been easy. It's definitely been a journey, and it's still not easy today.
Right. So what I'm saying is there's always going to be those things in our life where it's like, okay, we're pretty good right now. Now we have to jump out of our comfort zone and add a new thing. But it's very hard to add like 6 things at once. So what I'm thinking is we're talking about this now. I hope that when we sit down in a year or 2 or however long it is, we're a little bit further ahead on this process. And I know we're going to be, because in a year at max or so from now, we're going to be in a place where we can hopefully have more control over what comes into our home and the food ultimately that goes into our bodies, because it's literally we're buying it off the shelf at a store and bringing it in the house, or we're ordering off a menu, which I don't think we're terrible at. I mean, you're not that bad, but I think I get bad sometimes, but I think I'm
Every time we get pizza, we have to get cheese fries, and
you know what? The last pizza that I had was just pizza. The last time I ordered pizza, just pizza. That's a step in the right direction.
It's his fault that every time I get pizza, I want cheese fries.
Totally my fault. You were not a cheese fries girl before me.
I loved cheese fries, but I've never had
I don't think you were an appetizer
cheese
girl.
fries. We need to go to Outback.
I fucked you up with the appetizers or something there. I just made your
appetizers. Yeah, I always look at the appetizers now. I never used to. I think I used to more be like a side salad and dinner girl. Now it's like
what a word. It should actually be a de-appetizer, because it takes away your appetite because you're hungry, and then you eat the appetizer and you're not hungry for your meal and you eat it anyway.
I wouldn't say it completely fills me up, but I'm a big appetizer girl now. I won't lie.
Yeah,
it's all right.
But I can't really remember the other point. I think I kind of made it in there, but that was kind of it. I know that we're going to continue to progress through this, and I hope that this episode serves as like kind of a, just like a documentation of where we're at now, how we feel about these things, and we continue to move forward with it because progress.
Just so everyone's aware, the milkshake factory is probably going to be closed because it probably closes at 9 because of COVID.
Fuck.
So I'm
I don't know about that.
I'm a little depressed. I hope it closes at 10, but it's Sunday and I don't have high hopes.
I'm gonna need to take a shit before we go there.
We're on there.
Just saying. That's all good. Are we done?
I don't want to go into this, but I don't know if Mark wants to say any details, but the carnivore diet fucked him up because he was in the bathroom like 4 times today
Yeah, I'm not shy.
Trying to go.
If you don't like shit talk, then maybe you should like skip ahead.
Are you constipated?
Am I constipated? So let me try to do this as condensedly as possible. Yesterday I had basically 2 meals of like bacon and eggs and stuff like that, which isn't weird for me, but the lack of carbs I think was very weird for me. I'm a big carbs guy. I'm a big potato guy. I'm a big rice guy. And on a regular day, I would have definitely eaten that stuff. And I want to say that it was perhaps don't quote me, but I think that there's some level of fiber in carbs like that, right?
Yeah, rice.
And this is a separate aside. People that are on the carnivore diet, they don't have problems with digestion and stuff like that after their body gets acclimated to that. But when you're in that first stage, it's very bad. And I actually think that I have a really good digestive system personally. Not like really good, but like for some reason, everything just kind of clicks. I normally don't have any problems with bowel movements, if you will. And I normally don't really have too many problems unless I eat something that's going to fuck me up and that I know is kind of going to fuck me up, or like something spicy and shit like that. Like normally poops are pretty good, right? But when I did that yesterday, it fucked me up like very weirdly. Like I was still able to go, but it was a weird experience. I can't really describe it that well. But then today too, plus with that Mexican thing where I like shocked the shit out of my body with throwing a lot more carbs back in just randomly, I don't think that was good for me, but it was a good experience because I truly think, I've said this before, I think that food goes right through me. Really do. I'm not going to get into...
You don't have to say I think. We know it does.
I'm not going to get into details, but I am almost positive that food goes right through me. I don't understand. It might be a modern marvel. or something like that.
Well, every time we go to a restaurant, we go back to my house or wherever, or like right after he eats, within 20 minutes or less,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
he is in the bathroom.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but all I know is
that
that
does not happen to me.
yeah, but all I know is that that is just kind of how it is. And so that, we'll call it that, observation led me to believe that yesterday was the same type of thing. So I started feeling those things really quick, which also I think that if I stayed on the carnivore diet, I would be able to quickly acclimate to something if I would stay with it. But again, that's probably not going to happen because I don't really have enough problems that I think could solve that. I think it'd probably be better for me to just try to limit the amount of food that I take in because truthfully, I don't think that I eat extremely unhealthy.
And
I just think I eat too much food.
It really does scare me that it could like constipate you at first because I already have issues with that. I mean, I know eventually it would be helpful.
I don't think it's more constipation. I think it's more like violent shits. Yeah.
Is that what happened to you?
I mean, like, kind of, but not really.
Okay. All right.
That's probably enough for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, it got gross. But this is what you signed up for. Sorry.
But we do need to wrap this up because we got to see if the Milkshake Factory is open. The Milkshake Factory really needs to like sponsor us because every time Mark and I go there, I tag them and they share our post. And obviously, we would like to eat all around better, as you can tell. But it's a work in progress. We're growing together. We've come this far with everything else. I think we can come this far together with our relationships with food, but we will not give up the Milkshake Factory. So
Never.
hopefully it's
honestly,
open.
Last thing,
In peace.
important thing about the Milkshake Factory is, honest to God, I think it's only a Pittsburgh thing, but in my opinion, and I'm kind of a fucking, milkshake connoisseur here, is that is the best milkshake that you will get anywhere. So don't go anywhere else to get a milkshake because it's not worth it. That's kind of how I've started to think.
A lot of desserts just aren't worth it. When you can just go to the Milkshake Factory. And we've tried other milkshakes. It's not the same.
Yeah. I actually don't want to eat another milkshake or really drink, get many other desserts.
Before I started working out, when I would get home from work, I used to like get one like so many times a day a week. Not really a week, but I would get one so often. It's on my way home from work, so it's not good. But I have not been going there by myself, but Mark and I do go there a reasonable amount, but it's okay because it's freaking delicious and gotta love it, man.
Yep. Let's go see if they're open.
All
right, great. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, checking us out, enjoying this. Hopefully it wasn't too disgusting for you, especially at the end with the poop talk. But I hope you learned something. We hope you learned something. I hope if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, if you have similar stories, please put those in the comments. Hit us up on Instagram. If you want to be a guest couple, we haven't said this in a while. I know we've had a string of non-guest episodes, so we're always looking for guests. But yeah, also random thing that I just thought of. I made a page on the website that you can ask us any questions, and we haven't gotten many. So I'm going to put that in the link or the description of here, and we're probably going to promote that a little bit more. We'd love to do an episode or some sort of something about like questions from our audience because we try to pick good topics, but that would be awesome if we could gather some of those. So with that though, this has been another episode of AM and the PM with Amanda and Mark. We thank you so much for tuning in as always, and we will talk to you in the next one.